बतौर एक चैंपियन फॉर ही फॉर शी यूनाइटेड नेशंस का होने के नाते और हिंदुस्तानी होने के नाते और एक ऐसे घर में पैदा होने के नाते जहां हमारी दादी हमारे घर की सीईओ होती थी, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर हमारी माँ होती थी, विमेन एम्पावरमेंट का जो इशू है वो यथार्थ से है, वो ज़िंदगी से जुड़ा हुआ है और उनको बहुत ही अहम तरीके से हमको लेना चाहिए, सिर्फ बोलने के अंदाज से नहीं। और आज जिन 4 महिलाओं को मैंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, एक दादी को इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, शालिनी को इंट्रोड्यूस किया है और लक्ष्मी रानी को मैंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया है और मानवी को, उनका जो जीवन है या उन्होंने जो दृढ़ निश्चय अपने जीवन में लिए वो हमारे लिए एक बहुत प्रेरणा का स्रोत है। कितना पढ़ी हैं ये, कितना इन्होंने मेहनत की है, इनके हस्बैंड ने इनकी कितनी हेल्प की है, इनके मदर इन लॉ ने इनकी कितनी हेल्प की है, वो अलग है। उसके बावजूद इनकी जो अंदर की जो एक गरिमा थी, एक इनका जो दृढ़ निश्चय था, उसने बहुत हेल्प किया। एंड आई थिंक दिस काइंड ऑफ इवेंट हेल्प्स अस सॉर्ट ऑफ ब्रिंग द सिचुएशन इन फ्रंट।
सर वैसे तो काफ़ी बदलाव हुआ है, लेकिन अगर फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की बात करें तो काफ़ी बार ये होता है कि जो एक्ट्रेस हैं उनको कंप्लेन होती है कि एक्टर को ज़्यादा मतलब डिमांड में रखा जाता है एज फार एज कंपनसेशन इज कंसर्न।
ये चेंज होना चाहिए, ऑफ कोर्स चेंज होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल चेंज होना चाहिए और हो रहा है। ऐसी बात नहीं है, बहुत सारी एक्ट्रेसेस अब भी मेन रोल करती चली आ रही हैं और होना भी चाहिए। उनकी ये शिकायत वर्ल्ड वाइड है, सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान में नहीं है, इवन हॉलीवुड में भी ये शिकायत है कि जो महिलाओं को जो है उतना इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं मिलता। बट आई थिंक धीरे धीरे सब चीज़ें चेंज होनी है और मैं एक आशावादी होने के नाते सोचता हूँ।
लास्टली पूछना चाहूँगा, इतना बड़ा स्टेप लिया है मोदी जी ने 500,000 का बैंड, क्या चैलेंज फेस करना पड़ा और आपको मतलब क्या लगता है?
मुझे लगता है किसी भी ऐतिहासिक बदलाव के लिए, देश के लिए इस तरह के कदम उठाने के लिए पहले तो मैं उनको बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। और मुझे लगता है कि किसी भी चीज़ को जब रूट से निकालना हो तो उसमें तकलीफ़ तो होती है। ऑफ कोर्स एक साधारण नागरिक को शायद लाइन में खड़ा होने में तकलीफ़ है, मगर आज से 20 साल बाद जब उसका बेटा या उसकी बेटी या उसका पोता या पूछेगा कि क्या हमारे देश में बदलाव आ सकता था और आप उस समय थे मौजूद, और उसका यही जवाब होना चाहिए, हाँ बेटा मैंने तकलीफ़ सही है और मैं लाइन में खड़ा था। क्योंकि कोई भी चीज़ ज़िंदगी में जो है आसानी से नहीं मिलती है। अगर मैं ये सोचता कि मैं शिमला में हूँ और मेरे पिताजी क्लर्क हैं फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट में और यहाँ तक इस मुकाम तक पहुँचने के लिए मुझे बहुत तकलीफ़ें उठानी पड़ी, और हर इंसान को अपनी तकलीफ़ को और देश की तकलीफ़ को अगर जोड़ के चले तो लगता है कि बहुत कुछ आगे बदल सकता है।
connected to the different networks where she can be safer, and on the other side with the cell phone she can also secure or control her finance. So it is there, but at the same time the most important thing I feel is that when you provide technology, provide simple solutions to simple solutions, and people know how to use it. Cell phone, people are using WhatsApp in their local language. So the people, those who are providers, they have to rethink and they have to be friendly.
All right, last question, again from social media, from @Arizna. Why is gender equality such an emasculating thought? And how can the men in society overcome this?
That's
you
very
tell me you're the man representing
well, I don't
the
think,
panel.
I'm not personally, I don't think it's an emasculating thought at all, so I'm not the right person to ask
No.
this.
I think, like going back to the election that you were mentioning, weren't we all shocked that somebody who was so misogynistic could actually come to power? Why did it shock us? Were we in a kind of a bubble believing that, you know, this is a given?
You're shocked that 60 million people voted for somebody who thought that sex was
Well, the
maybe I
fact
should
is
be more
that
politically correct.
But it was something that's a given, right? We have at least come to a place where we have said gender equality is a good thing. I don't think there's an intellectual debate about it, that misogyny is not acceptable. And yet it has come out in the open that in a way it is acceptable. People are literally grabbing women on the streets. I've heard such horrendous things which has legitimized it. So it's really a soul-searching thing, and maybe in the feminist movement as well, we have failed somewhere in only focusing on women. So women are questioning, women are being more vocal, they're pushing the boundaries, and men are still there and still feeling threatened and saying, okay, things are changing too rapidly, is it good for me, is it not good for me? We've made it into a man versus woman thing, whereas
And there
it's
was a
not at
backlash.
all.
But I think that's an interesting way of looking at it.
In external public settings and gatherings like this one, does it actually exist? When you're in the boardroom, when you're in the corporate office, or when you're trying to get that entrepreneurial venture up and running, have we arrived at parity at work? So let's start with some initial thoughts. If we can get some thoughts going with you, Sapna. You're with Google, you've been...
That there's a lack of leadership representation across the boardrooms and across CEOs. I think the stats are less than 25% of women are CEOs. There's disparity in pay, and there are some stats that make you think, is there progress happening? I mean, I believe that there is progress happening in my own belief and in my own experience. Is the glass ceiling broken yet? Probably not. When you look around, do you see mostly men at senior levels? Yes, the answer is yes. But I think, I feel optimistic. I've had a lot of great experiences myself. I'll share one quick anecdote, which personal story is that when I was pregnant with twins, 5 months pregnant, I didn't put my hand up for a job, for a CMO job at that time. And my boss at that point called me and said, I hope you're putting your name in. And it gives me hope to say that there are men that are looking out for women in the workplace and saying, you better put your name in for this because you're the best person for the job. Yet we have these biases, and I think the biggest issue is that there's these biases that hold back women that are in our own heads, in our...
Your hometown with me my first time here.
Absolutely, and I'm sure everyone feels the same about you coming to our hometown.
It's a beautiful...
Even if you're from Delhi, Rajan. I saw you in the crowd somewhere.
So let's talk. Again, we all know your amazing work as an actor, but maybe we could talk a little bit about your transition or your evolution from actor to activist.
Right.
And how that happened, and maybe you could walk us through that a little bit.
Okay. I think when you grow up in a city like Mumbai, Bombay, as it was before 1996, it kind of is a natural process to absorb what you see in your environment. And if you are of that sensitive nature, or the nature that actually is affected in a good way and a constructive way to want to do something, Bombay is one of the best cities to be exposed to that. So growing up, whether it was going to school or on my way to college in the local Bombay trains, there was always these two worlds that would mash up together in a very, very explosive way. And that would be the world of the educated, the world, the middle class, the world rushing to make it work, the world trying to move up the ladder. And then there'd be the other world that is literally struggling to come anywhere close to where that other struggling world actually exists. And then, of course, there's the other world, which you have seen and probably experienced, which is also really, really far away from the world that I'm talking about, which is really struggling to meet the middle-class world. I came from the middle-class world, so I was on my way to college, and I would constantly meet these really young kids begging on local trains, singing to make some money. And the one incident that really, really changed it for me was when I was rather young. My mom was a teacher, and I was on my way to, I think it was mom's school. I didn't go to mom's school. Mom would not have me go to her school. She was like, no way. Yeah. I would be the miscreant, and she would be totally embarrassed. She was already embarrassed, so yeah, that would just be pushing it to the next level. So I was on my way to mom's school, and there was this little girl by the name, who I befriended, asked her what her name was, little girl named Pinky, probably 2 years younger than